Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, Amazing Spider-Man issue number 34. Wow. So there's a whole lot of stuff happening here. It's all a setup for the future. I know. 2099? Well, of course it's a setup for the future. No, it's a whole lot more than that. This is a really important book. Is it because there's a whole bunch of new characters in here? No, it's not really what it's all about. It's about all the story that's set up in this. I'm not going to bother with 5 things with this comic book. I'm just going to get right into it, all right? We got The Amazing Spider-Man, Target Doom. Written by Nick Spencer, art by Patrick Gleason. How you doing? Okay, we got colors by Matthew Wilson, D. Cuniff, and Chris O'Halloran. Letters, VC's Joe Carabagna. Cover art, Patrick Gleason and Matthew Wilson. 2 different variant covers. Spider-Man was created by Stan Lee with art by Steve Ditko. All right, let's check this out. Turns out it is not Taskmaster who shot down Doom. Also, Doombot. Look, man, that should be just obvious from the beginning. All of it should just be obvious from the beginning. However, here's the thing. This was set off by the Krakow, who's in charge of Simkaria right now, the neighbor of Latveria. So you know this was very political in nature. Not just, no, Doom is a bad guy, we must stop him. No. Very, extremely political in nature. Krakow is the sister of Silver Sable. So yeah, there's that. Anyhow, this gets a whole lot deeper. It turns out that Dr. Doom from 2099 is the one who sent Miguel O'Hara, the Spider-Man from 2099, back in time to warn Peter Parker. It was a really simple thing. I think he warned him of something, the important thing, but I didn't quite see the whole thing. Something to do with the time frame, something to do with the timeline. In gist, though, like putting this all together, here's something that's completely changing the Marvel Universe, all right? Besides the fact that somebody actually mentioned multiverse. This cat right here. Remember this cat? The guy who made... No, this guy. Yeah, this guy. The guy who made this clairvoyant thing? Yeah, this cat. He goes and mentions multiverse. He's a lot smarter than we're giving him credit for, all right? Either that was just a slip by Nick Spencer. Funny. Nick Spencer not paying attention to an individual detail? No, not likely. Excuse me, but he is human, so maybe. There's a small possibility, all right? On my part, I would say there's a small possibility he just messed up and had the guy say multiverse. The way that I've read Nick Spencer for a long time, though, no, that is not a slip-up. He said multiverse. That is not something that your average person in the Marvel universe knows. It's simply not. They don't know this stuff, all right? This puts him in the league with like freaking Reed Richards and all that. Okay, that being said, this knucklehead, he goes and creates this thing called clairvoyant. He leaves it with Peter Parker. He probably has some sense that he's Spider-Man. Because otherwise you're talking about, yeah, I'm going to leave it with you. You're like the most inconsistent person possible just from knowing you. Only reading about you, you let a business fail. You are not a trustworthy person to leave this device with. But here's a device that can predict the future. Kind of like an advanced version of the Spider Sense. Is he just charging it? Is he attuning it? Is he making it so that, now I know the frequency that your spider sense works on so that I can disable it or, work around it, much like Venom does? Am I able to emulate it in a way that I can predict the near future or expand upon it to predict future as far as, into the next day or maybe even a little bit further? Who knows? But this dude, he's up to something. He is suspect from this point on. Anyway, not Taskmaster here. Got to find out more about this cat because this was interesting, and I know what I saw in the previous issue. That looked like, and I'm not breaking open the other issue to look for it because no, I sort my comic books later, man. But that looked like Taskmaster. I don't know what's going on right now. Chameleon, maybe? Chameleon? It might be Chameleon doing the whole thing. Either way, this was wow. This was something else. So, Spider-Man 2099, here's a really big deal as far as the multiverse is concerned. 2099 is the actual future. Remember, in the Marvel multiverse, up until this issue, issue number 34 of The Amazing Spider-Man, the future is not set. The Age of Ultron could be the future. Age of Apocalypse could be the future. All right? Anything could be the future. There's all sorts of potential future storylines. It's all a possibility. But that's not the case with the 2099 series. 2099 is the Marvel Universe actual future. And since the universe, or since time is always changing, since the future is always in flux, because if you find out that, much like if I were to, be a seer and fortune tell, read your tarot cards and tell you, oh, tomorrow some guy with blonde hair and blue eyes is going to hurt you. Well, you can simply stay inside all day and avoid people with blonde hair, blue eyes. Oh, maybe it could be something esoteric like, oh, he hurt you financially, didn't have to actually be there in front of you to do it, but you get the gist, right? If you know the future, you can try and change the future. That was never really the case necessarily, not the same way with the Marvel Multiverse up until this issue. It was always, it doesn't matter. If something happens to change the future, that other future is still going to happen. But you've also just diverted and created another potential future. Because unlike the DC multiverse, there's not just 52 plus whatever happens in the bleed. No, it's a whole lot more than that. You're literally creating new divergent universes all the time. All the time. And if I simply tell you, if I come up and I say, I see the future and I say, oh, gesundheit, before you sneeze, if that gives you the slightest bit of pause, so that while normally you would have sneezed achoo right now, instead you'd sneeze achoo right now. Like a millisecond later, a split second later, I've just created an alternate universe, an alternate future. One where you sneezed on time, one where you sneezed a half a second later. Yes, that's how complicated the Marvel multiverse is and the future. But if this is the actual future, not Age of Ultron or any of that other stuff that's going on, the new Avengers, in the future and all that, wow, that actually changes things. That says a whole lot about what's going to happen in here and the Fantastic Four issue, which also comes out. This is 2099 Alpha, plus Fantastic Four 29 dropped this week. Those reviews in a bit. Wow, man. That genuinely changes a whole lot about what's about to happen. Okay, I am done. I am done. I've got to see what's about to happen now, because that literally raises the stakes a lot for anything 2099 that's going to happen from this point on. And everything that's happened before. Crap, I got to go back and read frickin' Ravager now. Anyway, guys, I'm done. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.